McGraw-Hill Professional presents The High Roller Experience, How Caesars and Other World-Class Companies Are Using Data to Create an Unforgettable Customer Experience. Written by David Norton, narrated by Doug Greene. Prelude. During my time at Harrah's and Caesars, we had numerous great companies spend time with us in Las Vegas to discuss marketing and the customer experience. They were intrigued by the way the casino industry manages its best customers, and they had read about our broader success in marketing as well. These meetings were always intellectually stimulating, as we discussed what the visiting companies were doing well that could help us improve some element of our business, and we collectively developed a roadmap for how they could make progress in CRM, analytics, and loyalty. The most amusing and telling way the CMO from one of these companies summarized his emotions after the session was over was that he was both impressed and depressed. Impressed upon learning what we were doing from a marketing perspective and driving an enhanced customer experience throughout the casino resort, and depressed by the realization that he had a lot of work to do within his own firm to replicate that success. These meetings made me realize that the things that we were doing in the casino business at Harrah's were applicable across a range of industries and could be applied at many great companies, especially those whose expertise had been focused on brand management, product development, and operations. I am also constantly amazed at how many people are familiar with and respect the Harrah's marketing story, particularly if they had studied the Harvard Business School case in their MBA program and are eager to learn the details. The ability to translate that knowledge to their own environment is compelling for people to hear as well. These numerous interactions drew me to the consulting and agency side, as I realized there was a lot of potential to work collaboratively with smart and progressive clients to help them achieve excellence in customer centricity relatively quickly. To scale and expand the offering, we decided to create Gale, building a team of people with a broad array of expertise including strategic consulting, digital, and technology acumen. We had several objectives in mind when creating Gale, with the realization that there was a seam in the market that would enable us to deliver unique value to clients. Our mantra was, and is, to deliver strategic thinking on par with the top consulting firms, but with an ability to support ongoing operational execution. Another objective was to be a data-driven agency where science was more dominant than art, and we wanted to focus on helping our clients integrate those insights into their operations very quickly in order to drive business value and create internal momentum for change. We also wanted to help our clients avoid the trap of making a seven-figure investment in database or digital technology and not using the functionality fully to personalize the customer experience. So, we built platforms that allow our clients to be up and running in a sophisticated way at a fraction of the typical cost and much more quickly. Case studies from our work at Gale provide a tremendous complement to the Harrah's story. They demonstrate how data and science can be used to improve marketing and the customer experience in a broad array of industries, and they prove the power of the latest technology advances. The high roller experience encapsulates the thinking and experience that will enable rapid growth in profitability and customer satisfaction at your organization and shows you how you can implement it in your own company's marketing and customer-focused strategy. Forward. In my former role as managing director at a global IT services company, I had the opportunity to work with Harrah's Caesars Entertainment, one of the world's most illustrious gaming companies. The mission was to create a set of systems that would elevate Harrah's Caesars into a customer experience leadership position in the highly competitive Las Vegas casino space. Championed by the CMO, David Norton, this ambitious task would transform customer centricity in the casino industry. Today, the fact that CMOs have a strong influence over technology spend is a given. But back then it was unheard of. Pioneering today's CMO model, A decade ahead of his time, David was adamant about using data to shape world-class customer experiences, and he was laser-focused on running analytics in the background, while digging deep into the financials to shape better experiences. With his progressive approach, it's no surprise that David received numerous accolades, such as CMO of the Year, based on the exceptional results he delivers. Many years later, our paths crossed again over dinner in Midtown Manhattan. David was now a managing director at MDC Partners, a top marketing and advertising holding company. He wanted to discuss how many companies still struggled to create relevant, data-driven customer experiences. This was a common problem across industries, even though today's environment is perfect for the core principles that David developed during his time at Harrah's Caesars Entertainment. We talked about how expectations for today's consumers were much higher, how consumers had grown much more accepting of brands using data to create great experiences, and how the explosion of mobile and cheap cloud computing could enable personalization like never before. One spirited conversation over dinner quickly evolved into a set of ongoing idea exchanges over the next few months. The time was right to apply David's extensive experience in the data-rich casino space to new industries, taking advantage of today's technology advancements and the emerging world of data science. In this book, David not only does a masterful job of outlining the strategic thinking required to create world-class experiences, he also provides tactical recommendations on how to operationalize these insights. Working together at Gale, David and I have built an agency that is helping today's forward-looking brands create great customer experiences. In creating Gale, we wanted to develop a next-generation agency. In doing so, we knew we would need to apply the rigor and discipline of a management consultancy while bringing the creativity and empathy of a world-class creative agency. We also knew we needed to be an agency that could bring the right amount of strategy and that could transition that strategy into flawless execution. With Gale, we have successfully, from day one, brought together business strategy, creativity, data, and technology, and are helping brands answer critical business questions like, who are my best customers and how do I find more of them? And how should I invest my marketing spend across customer segments and channels based on competitive dynamics? Relevant for marketers across industries, this book goes beyond the casino space to illustrate how you can build great customer experiences and drive ROI in any organization. Brad Sims. Part 1. A Broader View of Loyalty. Loyalty is about more than a rewards program where customers are fixated on point accumulation and the company is primarily concerned about the cost of contingent liability. Loyalty is about understanding your customers in detail and interacting with them in a highly personalized way at every point of contact with your brand. A roadmap to success. Many companies state they have a customer focus as one of their key mantras to drive market share and profitability. In reality, this typically only means having a strong customer service culture and the right products, but it does not entail the orientation and tools to implement a relevant and customer-centric approach in all marketing activities and service touchpoints. A shocking number of highly successful companies are still in the very early stages of developing CRM, customer relationship management, and loyalty tools, unable to make progress that would improve customer satisfaction and marketing efficiency, and, of course, ultimately improve financial results. In this book, The High Roller Experience, we will explore the reasons that have limited progress on this front and provide you with a roadmap and lessons learned that will enable your success. Having met with a number of great companies over the years, either as part of a day-long info share or through more extensive consulting engagements, we can see clearly that there is a remarkably common set of challenges that limit progress, and it is equally clear that there are huge opportunities to drive transformative change. There are organizational and talent barriers that make it difficult to succeed, and historically, there have not been great external solutions that can both tell clients what to do as well as how to execute it operationally with hardware and software, not to mention the talent that is required to do so. CMOs are pressured to deliver short-term results, so when push comes to shove, their bias will be to focus on what they need to do in the immediate here and now, as opposed to spending time on longer-term capability-building initiatives. They also often don't have experience leading the building of technical capabilities, and they may not have the funding from their organization to resource properly against more expensive projects. CEOs are more focused on financial results, employee issues, and product decisions, and many of them don't support CRM efforts as vigorously as they could to push organizational transformation focused on customer centricity. One of the bigger obstacles to success is a company's technical infrastructure. Primarily, this means not having all the necessary data in one accessible spot to fully understand the customer. Marketers in many instances don't have the ability to use all the data they would like to use because it is in various databases that can't be accessed in marketing queries and analysis. This is especially true for companies that have made a meaningful number of acquisitions over the years or have a wide variety of product lines where customer data is siloed, as these companies have likely not been able to create an integrated view of the customer. Investing in this database step is essential, though many companies are paralyzed by the complexity of big data. The terms CRM and customer centricity have been used liberally and loosely by tech and consulting companies as well as those that write about them, all of which leads to confusion among decision makers. A customer-centric organization executes against many different marketing and operational components, including the following: deploys a sophisticated closed-loop, highly segmented direct marketing process, conducts robust analysis, offers a compelling loyalty structure with differentiated service and benefits and a strong customer value proposition, has a deep understanding of the intersection of product performance and customer segmentation, delivers personalized experiences in multiple touchpoints seamlessly. Many companies do one or two of these components quite well. For example, airlines and hotels have very successful loyalty programs, but typically they don't engage in sophisticated CRM. Many companies have very basic segmentation schemes for direct marketing, but they don't have an ability to provide continuity across channels and provide a seamless customer experience. Companies also struggle with the idea that customer centricity is a journey that requires iterative progress to build momentum internally and to evolve an organization's culture. While there may be a grandiose vision of what the goal is, it is impossible to get there immediately in one step. As cliché as it is, the lowest hanging fruit should be identified and harvested to prove the impact as quickly as possible. Constantly evolving and rolling out more sophisticated functionality can be done over time as the organization sees the quantifiable benefit of data-driven and customer-centric marketing. I have been fortunate to work with companies where customer loyalty is core to the firm's DNA, starting with financial services at MBNA and American Express, and then for 12 years at Harrah's Caesars Entertainment, where I was the architect of Total Rewards, which is widely viewed as one of the best loyalty programs in the world. More recently, I have been able to work with great clients from a wide range of industries that are looking to enhance their loyalty capabilities and relationships with customers. Finally, as a frequent business traveler, I get to experience airline, hotel, and car rental loyalty programs from a consumer's perspective. These experiences have all built upon one another to inform the expertise that is shared in this book. In Part 1, I offer a deep look into the development and evolution of Total Rewards, one of the most recognized loyalty schemes in the world, as never before told, and I give examples of creating innovative loyalty mechanisms across a range of diverse industries. You will see why loyalty goes well beyond a point-based program and entails engaging with customers in a contextually relevant way across a variety of touchpoints. Chapter 1. customer centricity and all its components. Most companies are organized by product line, business unit, or geography and find it very challenging to take a customer-centric approach to running their business. The customer is a byproduct of the organization's design, as opposed to being the core around which the company operates. Customer centricity means that the customer is the company's and not an individual business unit's. It is an ability to interact with the customer cohesively and consistently, regardless of which business unit the customer is dealing with. Customers increasingly have this expectation of the brands they buy from, and they are unaware of and don't care about organizational silos. Customer centricity does not entail simply implementing a CRM tool and software. Rather, it is an integrated approach to managing one's business, including having a thorough understanding of the customer and the ability to take refined actions in a multitude of service and marketing touchpoints, increasingly in real time, via mobile leveraging digital technologies. It requires constant refinement and evolution over an extended period of time, based on sophisticated analytics, while simultaneously driving meaningful incremental results for the business. It is surprising to me how many great companies don't have a customer segmentation scheme in place. This is a critical way to understand the motivations, needs, and profitability of your customer base in a logical way, but more importantly, should be a way to interact with customers in the most relevant way. Many companies do have some form of strategic segmentation that helps prioritize investment and helps employees understand the relative value and personas of customers. However, it is even more critical to have a tactical segmentation methodology that can be used in direct marketing or real-time on the web or in mobile marketing to be contextually relevant and to more effectively utilize distressed inventory. Too many companies use a one-size-fits-all approach in direct marketing and email as it relates to messaging, frequency, and channel of contact and incentive type or amount. Personalizing the marketing communication approach will dramatically improve the efficiency of marketing spend, both by eliminating activities that will not be fruitful and by improving response through more appropriate offers. And customers will be much happier when their inboxes aren't flooded with extraneous messages and when the communication they do get is more relevant. There is a time and place for strategic segmentation. While I have a strong preference for using detailed customer-level data to create an actionable tactical segmentation, there is a time and place for strategic segmentation that helps inform higher-level decision-making. Many companies use one of the well-known psychographic profiles such as Personix obtained from third parties, which helps people think about key customer profiles with very descriptive and amusing names. However, it is often not very actionable as it relates to targeted marketing, as it is costly to score your entire database, and more crucially, it is hard to change someone's profile. We saw an example of this recently. A large consulting firm had created 5 segments that were labeled with 5 female names for one of our retail clients. Unfortunately, the names did not provide intuitive insight into the characteristics of each segment that would help marketing or operations know what to do differently for each persona without diving into more detail. In 2010, we did a very powerful strategic segmentation project at Harrah's. It was part of our effort to drive new business to fill the significant revenue gap we had from the decline in play from our VIP customers after the economic crisis of September 2008. We conducted a deep research effort to understand the total travel and entertainment (T&E) spend from a variety of customers, including VIPs and non-VIPs, loyal and non-loyal customers, and a significant group of non-Total Rewards members. This exhaustive survey helped us think about the opportunity much more broadly than just gaming revenue, as we obtained insight into consumers' spend on dining, entertainment, and other leisure activities. We realized what a small percentage of T&E spend we were capturing with our gaming-focused marketing tactics, considering the vast array of excellent assets we had at our disposal. we gained insight into segments where we were over-penetrated compared with the competition, such as comp connoisseurs, given the power of our loyalty program. And we identified those segments where we had less than our fair share, given our competitors' investment in non-gaming assets relative to ours. The research effort told us of the potential value for each segment, from both a gaming and non-gaming perspective, to help us quantify the potential and to help rally the organization around the need to evolve around our core gaming customer. From this work, we created segments for both our frequency and destination markets and realized at what rate the same customers have one personality when they visit a casino regularly in their hometown, as opposed to making an annual visit to Las Vegas. In the local market, the motivation is often a gaming-centric night out, while the Vegas trip is much more diverse in its objectives to enjoy world-class entertainment, shopping, and dining. The implications of this work were quite broad for the key markets we specifically focused on, including where we spent our traditional media dollars, and as an input on where and how to invest capital. While it was not feasible to score the whole database with these segments to execute against them in our direct marketing, the value of the project far exceeded my expectations. Taking a differentiated approach to market segmentation. A more sophisticated segmentation approach certainly leads to more clerical work internally and with the company's production execution vendors. So, as basic as it seems, you must do something different for each segment if you are going to put forth the effort to segment, whether that is varying content in the form of images and copy or the promotional incentive type and amount. In addition, it is very important to automate the segmentation queries and negate manual ad hoc queries so that marketing resources can spend the majority of their time thinking about what to do based on recent results and market dynamics, as opposed to spending all their time on the tactical aspects of executing. It is also important to maintain some stability over time in the segmentation, both to create a longitudinal history to compare results and to minimize rework for vendors as they execute. Customers will move in and out of segments as their behavior changes, but the segments should stay constant for at least 12 to 18 months, assuming there are no dramatic changes in the business or competitive landscape. How often customers should be rescored is a function of the frequency with which customers engage with the brand. We have seen clients rescore their customers anywhere from twice a year to several times a week. This also mitigates any rework for vendors or internal partners and reduces the risk of errors they may make that can have a significant negative impact on the business. We experienced a major mistake by a direct mail vendor during my Harrah's days when the vendor inverted the offer matrix, meaning that the lower value customers got the best customers' offers and our high daily spend customers got very modest offers meant for the masses. To exacerbate the problem, there were many more customers in the low-value category than in the VIP level. As a result, our financial exposure was several $1 million because the state where the casino was located made us honor the erroneous coupon values. This error led us to dramatically reduce the number of suppliers we used and increase the amount of insurance we had in place to protect ourselves from mistakes going forward. The importance of test and control cells. An ability to easily have test and control cells as part of the execution process is very important too. Marketers should be able to quickly select what percentage of the audience will get the standard offer creative opposed to the challenger ones, and what percentage will be controlled, excluded from that promotion as well. Being able to rapidly measure test and control results in a timely fashion through standard reports is critical in order to respond and take the appropriate action in short order. Too often, companies don't have an automated process in place to measure test and control efforts, and as a result, it takes months to evaluate what happened, making it irrelevant by the time the analysis is done, since the competitive landscape has changed. There are varying philosophies about control groups. Some companies hold a portion of their customer base from all marketing activity, and others do it at a promotion campaign level. I believe holding out customers from a specific marketing program is much more informative in determining which marketing activities drive the most incremental profitability, changing the customer's behavior to spend more with you than with a competitor. Many companies have universal control groups, which do not enable an understanding of the relative performance of all marketing programs. Understanding incremental profitability and the relative performance of marketing campaigns are more important than estimating the impact of all marketing activity, because it allows the company to make surgical changes to optimize marketing spend. From 1999 to 2008, we conducted a lot of direct marketing tests at Harrah's that improved the effectiveness of our marketing dramatically, but the property marketers were very hesitant to have control groups for fear that they would be threatening their revenue. We were by no means suggesting going dark on our customers. The reality was that instead of getting an average of 8 incentives in a month, they would be getting 7. Some customers would be getting offers 1 through 7 and not 8, and others 1 through 6 and 8 but not 7, and so on. Ultimately, we were trying to learn a variety of things. How many of the 8 programs were driving incremental profitability? How does the performance of each of the programs compare? What is the point of diminishing returns at a customer segment level, that is, where was promotional activity no longer driving incremental profitability? Which types of programs were most relevant to specific customers? Which customers were most sensitive to promotional activity? However, at the beginning of 2009, with the economic crisis impacting customer demand and our profitability, we mandated that control groups be done on all programs so that we could identify ineffective marketing spend and either drop it to the bottom line or reallocate it to more profitable activities. At the same time, we centralized all marketing analysis to ensure that the best decisions were being made, realizing that customers were not as responsive to our marketing programs as they had been in the past. Amazingly, of the dozens of innovations I asked the organization to embrace, centralizing marketing analysis so we could understand this critical information was the easiest one by far. The division president simply requested that I resource it appropriately to enable rapid and thorough analysis to help them make marketing decisions. We created a report that evaluated every program a property did in a month. This illustrated which ones were successful in driving incremental profitability and which ones did not, and in essence, layered cost to revenue we would have received anyway. We were able to assess this within a week of the offers expiring, which allowed us to make modifications to the approach very quickly. If the property marketers did not drop or significantly alter their losers, shrimps, and fixer-uppers, we communicated up the chain to get the right outcome. In 2010, we further refined our ability to understand program incrementality at a customer segment level within a program that enabled us to even more accurately optimize our spend. Keys to an effective segmentation scheme. Ideally, a company has all the needed data in a warehouse and has sophisticated CRM tools to drive the segmentation, but that is often not the case. In the theme of iterative progress, it is perfectly acceptable to start with a basic segmentation approach that will drive meaningful differentiation in messaging, creative offers to different groups of customers. Our first wave of segmentation at Harrah's was based on 4 stages of the customer life cycle: new, non-loyal, loyal, and defector. But our offer approach and messaging were dramatically different by segment. At a retail client I engaged with, the initial segmentation was to distinguish the client's core lower-end and mid-tier customers from its emerging higher-end ones in direct marketing, on the web, and in-store, to match the right product and pricing so as not to alienate the core audience with the unapproachable products, nor the customers in the new aspirational segment with a product that was too low quality for their taste. This type of segmentation can be done by creating flags at a guest level that can be easily accessed at time of query using a standard tool such as Cognos or MicroStrategy. There is a lot of talk about one-to-one marketing, but the key to an effective segmentation scheme is having an ability to execute feasibly within the organizational construct, as there is an executional burden of having more versions of emails or direct mail pieces. it is critical to prioritize the lowest hanging fruit segments and then determine how the copy, images, and incentive will vary by segment to drive different behavior. At Gale, we
Sample complete. Ready to continue?